Okay, today we're going to talk about high-rise evolutions, some of the basic terms and equipment necessary to begin the evolution. When we're talking about high-rise, IFSTA defines it as any building that's taller than your tallest ground ladder, and NFPA defines it as 7 stories or more. Some of them have standpipes and some of them do not. This building has an internal standpipe, so we're going to go over the evolution utilizing that, and then we're going to conduct a second evolution in a scenario with no internal standpipe. Some of the basic equipment we need to get started is going to be our high-rise pack. Our high-rise pack consists of 100 feet of 1 3/4 hose attached to a smooth bore 7/8 nozzle and a 2.5 to 1 3/4 gated Y, as well as a 1 3/4 to 2.5 adapter attached to the Y. In the bag we have a variation of a couple tools that might be needed during your high-rise operation: a set of big channel locks and a storage wrench. The channel locks are to open and close high-rise valves if the handle has been removed or is jammed. We'll also be utilizing a section of 2.5, whether it be rolled or shoulder loaded, as a trunk line. And if it's pulled as a trunk line, it'll have a breakaway nozzle that has the ability to drop down and connect directly to your 1 3/4 hose. All right, now we've talked about our basic equipment and some of our terms. Let me show you what a standpipe looks like from the exterior. So, external standpipe connection. It utilizes two 2.5-inch intakes to feed an internal waterway that provides remote access throughout the building for the fire department connection. This is an example of an external standpipe. You can see the connections are the same, but the plumbing is on the outside to the fire department connections on each individual level. Standpipes come in 2 variations: dry and wet. This is a dry standpipe. In the wet standpipes, you'll find them either fed by residential pressure, or they may have fire pumps that boost the pressure inside the standpipe. Okay, this is the internal portion of the standpipe. It is a 2.5-inch discharge with some sort of gated valve. This one is a gate valve with a twisting wheel. If these wheels are missing, that's why we carry the channel locks in our high-rise tool bag. Okay, to begin our high-rise evolution, we're going to pull the 1 3/4 high-rise pack off the back of the fire engine, as well as 100 feet of 2.5. And for the 2.5, we can either utilize our 600-foot bulk bed or one of our 3 200-foot pre-connects of 2.5. Okay, after the hose has been pulled, we're going to advance to 1 floor below the fire to begin setting up our 2.5-inch trunk line off the internal standpipe. And as the crew reaches the floor below the fire, firefighter B, Granite, is going to begin setting up and deploying the 2.5-inch trunk line, while firefighter A, Pleasance, continues to the fire floor to do recon and begin deploying his 1 3/4 attack line. Now that firefighter B is on the landing 1 floor below the fire, he's going to deploy the hose off of his shoulder, and because he's determined that he only has to go 1 more landing to the fire floor, he's going to cut 50 feet out of the 100 that he initially brought and only use 50 as a trunk line to advance up to where firefighter A is waiting.
So to get 50 feet, I'll just disconnect this coupling. Plug into the standpipe connection.
And then he'll begin strategically stretching this 50 feet that he has left to get to the next landing by keeping it to the outside wall and then the outside edge of the stairs as he goes up. And once he's got to where firefighter A is set up to deploy his 1 3/4 hose, he'll make the connection to the Y, descend back down the stairs, and prepare to charge the entire hose system on firefighter A's order. Okay, as firefighter A approaches the fire floor, he's going to come up and ensure that he has a tenable location to begin his hose advancement. He has an intact door, so he's in a secured stairwell. At that point, he's going to put his high-rise pack down and begin deploying it. The deployment procedure consists of taking all of the straps off. Once he's got all the straps off, he'll clear the webbing and get it out of the way. And then he'll put the nozzle to the door and begin his modified V-split deployment. In the modified V-split, he's going to pull his loops forward, and then he's going to pull his other loops back. And then he's in a location to continue masking up or prepare to fire attack. Okay, during that time, firefighter B has made the connection on the floor below and is now advancing his 2.5-inch trunk line up the stairs to the fire floor landing, ensuring that all of his extra slack is pushed to the exterior of the stairwell. Once he's made it to the landing, he's going to remove the nozzle and the reducer on the gated Y, and then connect the 2.5 to the 2.5-inch port on the gated Y. Once that connection has been made, he's going to make sure that the 1 3/4 line is closed on both sides, and then he's going to descend back to the standpipe connection on the floor below and wait for firefighter A to call for water.
Wesley, ready for water.
Water's coming.
Okay, so firefighter A has communicated with firefighter B that he's ready for water. Firefighter B turned on the standpipe connection on the floor below. The 2.5 has been charged. He's ascended the stairs and now is going to double check that firefighter A is ready to charge the 1 3/4.
So we have water right to here. Ryan, are you ready for water on the attack line?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay, firefighter A or firefighter B is going to charge the attack line. As the attack line charges, firefighter A is going to flush it while firefighter B secures the valving on the gated Y in the open and closed positions in order to keep them from being inadvertently knocked open or closed. Okay, when we're tying off our gated Y, we're going to start with a hose strap, go under the attack line to the inside, loop the handle, and then pull tight. Once we pull, we come over the top. We do a complete wrap on the handle that needs to be maintained closed, the unutilized portion of the Y, and then wrap under the trunk line and finish with a 1/2 hitch. Now our handles are secured in the closed position and the open position and can't be inadvertently manipulated. Okay, the valves have been secured. Now firefighter B is going to move up to the backup position and the firefighting team can commence an aggressive fire attack. Ready?
Ready.
Okay, during this process, the backup team is going to mirror the same procedures that the primary attack line did, except they're going to start their trunk line deployment 1 floor below the primary lines. So we're on the 4th floor now. We started our trunk line on the 3rd floor, advanced up to the 4th, which is the fire floor. Backup will build that trunk line from the 2nd floor up to the landing of the 4th floor and then deploy their backup line in place.
Hey Ryan, pull that the high-rise bundle. I'm gonna pull 100 feet of 2.5. You can break that. We're gonna go up.
Got it.
Okay, fire's on floor 4. I'm gonna stop at 3. I want you to go up to 4 to recon. Then drop your hose there. Let's check standpipes all the way up.
Okay, as the engineer pulls the 2.5 to charge the external standpipe connection, he's going to immediately charge the first line because there's a clapper valve inside of that connection, and then when he has an opportunity, he's going to stretch another section of 2.5 and charge the other side of that line to provide a higher volume. The engineer does not need to wait for the internal crew to call for water. As soon as he's set up, he's going to charge the system.
Floor 2! Floor 3!
Ready for water.
Water's coming! Water's coming!
Now Now that we've covered how to utilize a built-in standpipe system, whether it be internal or external, and you guys have a basic understanding of that, we're going to show you how to build a standpipe system. So if you're in a mid to high-rise building and you feel like you need to build a standpipe system to get to the upper floor where the fire may be, we're going to show you how to do that. So essentially the concept is we'll stretch 2.5-inch line up the stairs, making sure we keep our excess line pushed to the outside the whole time until we get to that 4th floor landing where our fire is. At that point, we'll break our nozzle down, connect to our high-rise pack, and make fire attack from the landing, just like we did with the internal standpipes. Okay, when we were building an internal standpipe, we're gonna have a couple possible variations once we've reached this point. If we came in on a charged 2.5-inch hose line because we felt the need to have the safety of water with us the entire time, or we're in a charged smoke environment, and our 2.5 is now charged, what we're going to do is we're going to utilize the breakaway function of our nozzle. So we're going to remove the tip completely. Now we have a ball valve that goes to an 1 3/4 fitting. At that point, we're also going to remove the gated Y off of our high-rise pack and take it out of the equation and attach the 1 3/4, the 100-foot 1 3/4 directly. Once that's been attached, we now have control over our hose line here. And when firefighter A is ready for water, we'll activate using our bail. The second variation is the one that we were demonstrated earlier. If you come in on a dry 2.5-inch hose line, at this point, you'll dump your nozzle completely, as well as the reducer on your gated Y. You take both of those out of the system, attach your gated Y directly to your 2.5. At this point, you can call for water. All right, and then the other variation, if you're building the backup line or you do not have a high-rise pack set up the way the city engines have, what you can do is take 100 feet off of your 200-foot pre-connects of 1 3/4 and shoulder that, and then have your engineer break it at that 100-foot mark. Now you have 100 feet of shouldered 1 3/4 hose ready to go to work. It functions exactly the same as our high-rise packs, as well as you can pull one of your 2.5-inch pre-connects off your truck, and once you get to your point of deployment, take the nozzle off, utilize a reducer or a gated Y, and put your shoulder load into service.
ARP, looks like we got fire on the 4th floor. I'm going to pull 200 feet of 2.5 to the 4th floor landing. I want you to help me with that and grab the 1 3/4 apartment bundle. Engine 3911 to engine 3911 engineer, charge the 2.5.